Sorry about that. I'm back. I had to help my moderator real quick. Um, yeah. So my honest, honestly, I'm very surface level right now. I'm hoping to further delve into this, but my understanding is environmental humanities is kind of like it seemed very broad from what I read. It kind of seemed like a little bit of history, a little biology, a little bit of ecology, even like some geology in there. But it seems like studying how humans relate specifically to the environment, I guess, it's kind of implied by the name, but that was my takeaway understanding. Like, I saw a lot of articles and stuff about it, talking about climate change and similar impacts. So it's like how our environment impacts us as humans, and how humans impact the environment, and probably like the cyclical aspect of that, I would assume, and probably what we can do to improve that relationship. It's different than ecology or biology because it seems much more broad and encompassing. Or not necessarily broad. I'm sure it's still very specific, but definitely more encompassing. Like it studies the whole field, as opposed to like focusing in on one part. It kind of like combines the whole mosaic, from what I was seeing. And art, culture, and history, I mean, that's the humanity aspect and environmental humanities. So, from my understanding from readings, was relates pretty heavily to the field. Because if you're gonna understand like a specific region's like human society's relation to their environment, you'd have to delve into their art, culture, and history pretty heavily to get like anywhere near a complete understanding of that. And the question four, why might a good idea consider environmental issues from perspective outside of science? Because our scientists have been wrong a lot, and a lot of people that were non-scientific have been right. Like a great example is in areas around here, like indigenous people have been doing controlled burns for thousands of years, and we stopped doing those, and then our forests became full of fuel, and now we have, well, and with other factors as well, like climate change and increased, everything, and like dumbasses with fireworks. But we have way more wildfires that are way more severe due to that. And I think there's probably going to be some aspects of this class that will delve into some things that, aren't necessarily scientific but are still really valid, like indigenous practices and other aspects of that. And like not necessarily spiritual, but like it's kind of like that connection to the land that sometimes you don't really need to do the calculations to understand, I guess. That's probably some of the stuff that's a bit disconnected or above science when I want to look at it. And why might it be a good idea to consider environmental issues from perspective outside of science? What the field could teach us about ourselves, should the world around us. Yeah, I think it could just improve our understanding of ourselves and our relation to the world around us. Like a lot of people think of our relationships to the planet as very transactional. Like we take its resources, we give it this and that, as opposed to thinking that we're also a part of that system. I mean, we are a resource in our own, and everything has to be, in moderation, kind of like some yin yang action, as opposed to just a whole lot of yin or a whole lot of yang. It's got to get a little more even there. It's supposed to just like take, like the in I guess it's probably Christianity, like especially in a lot of countries, separated us from like where my family is Irish, right? So back in the day, Irish pagans had a very deep relation to their land and had a more in touch understanding. And then as they were colonized and the culture was, that aspect of their culture was eviscerated, they began to have a more, I guess, cold approach to land and think of it as a resource that can be extracted and destroyed, as opposed to having it like be a part of you and be a part of your family or your culture. And so I bet that is something that we could definitely work towards and learn, and would teach more about ourselves and our relationships to the world around us. Sorry for any too long rambling sentences.